back to a new year here at the CamijoKnit podcast. I am so excited to be starting 2024. And here in Denmark, I bet you can tell that the light is really good because we have so much snow here and the sun is shining. So today is a very beautiful day. It is Saturday, January 6th. I am a little late podcasting because, well, yesterday I was just too busy. Too many things happened. I never found the time to actually sit down and record an episode. I'm thinking that from now on I will be doing my podcast on Thursday and uploading those on Fridays. But never mind that for now. Welcome to a new year here, and welcome to all my returning viewers, those of you who have been with me from the beginning, and an extra warm welcome to all of you who are new. I have gotten so many new subscribers here on YouTube during Vlogmas. And what a Vlogmas it was. I have gotten so many lovely comments and response from you guys out there, and it just fills my heart with so much warmth. I must say that this year's Vlogmas was extra special in the way that I have been reconnecting and connecting with so many followers around the world. So thank you so much to all of you who has been tuning into this channel during December, and welcome if you are staying here with me for a year, not Christmas related, but just knitting and yarn related content for this whole year. If you are new here, my name is Camilla. I was going to say my age, do I dare? I'm 46. I just turned 46 in December. I live here in Denmark with my family, my husband Lars, and our two almost adult girls. Esther is 17 and Nomi is 20. My oldest daughter has been in Tanzania since August. She just came back a month early because of a knee injury. She is fine. She will be fine. But it's always awful when something like that happens, when you really are in an adventure and out there to see the world. But my selfish mom heart is just happy that she's home. Let me change my glasses. I have the wrong glasses on. I have glasses for when I'm working on the computer and glasses for everything else, and I forgot to change those. So this feels better. I have made myself a fresh cup of coffee. It is my number 3 today. It is, what time is it? It is 11:30, and I love these mornings. I can have so much coffee and just sit in here in my office and knit and paint and all sorts of stuff. And I have had such a lovely morning in here today, painting a little bit. But let's get back on track before I get myself lost somewhere. Today, this will be a pretty regular episode. I will usually talk about what's going on my needles and what is, do I have any finished objects, stuff like that. The regular knitting podcast routine, I guess. But today, I've been thinking a little bit about because back in the earlier episodes, I would always have my yarn in the house because I would dye the yarn here at my house. But now all my yarn is at the studio. So I'm a little bit, how do I make sure I have everything at home when I want to talk about a certain yarn? I probably won't have it here at the house. So I thought that every now and then I'll just split my episodes. So today I will start here at my office and we will talk about whatever is going on my needles, any news. Today we'll be talking about the new yarn club and a new base and small things like that. And then at the end of the episode, I will take you with me to the studio and have a little chat there. So I think that can change from episode to episode, if I'll have a whole episode from the house or a whole episode at the studio, whatever makes sense for the content of that episode. So today I'm thinking mainly here, but I'll also take you with me because I have some yarn to show you. So that's the plan. The last time I was here with you, it was after Christmas, or during Christmas actually. I think I uploaded on the 26th. And since then, I have been working on a project that I have not shared with you here on YouTube, and I haven't shared it on Instagram either. And it is right here. It is in this beautiful bag that I love very much. It is from Eldenwood. Emma, she did this bag for me. We did a swap a long time ago. I was just in love with her cute sheep bags. I will link her shop down below. And in here, I have, you probably already know now that I'm showing this. This is the Saturday shrug by, I forgot her name, I'll put her name here. I fell in love with this when I was in Barcelona, and I was hanging out with a group of podcasting friends. And Ivana, who has the podcast The Republic of Me, was wearing this Saturday shrug in a typical Ivana color, which is gray and gray. And it just looks so cool on her. She's a very cool lady, and she looks very cool, and she has lovely outfits all the time. And she was wearing this Saturday shrug in a dark gray with a lighter gray stripe. And I thought I wanted one as well. And this is my progress so far. I think you're supposed to do 11 of these stripes, and then you're done. And I think I just finished my 8th one. I will see if I want it to be that long or not. But it's just to have above my, not above my shoulders, but around my shoulders instead of a scarf or instead of a poncho. Especially at night when I'm knitting in the living room, I get a little chill because I'm in the corner of the house and it's a little cold there. And also when I'm at the studio and I'm working at my computer upstairs, it can be a bit chilly when you're sitting down, because when I'm working and dyeing yarn downstairs, I get warm because I'm working. And then when I'm sitting still, I just need something that's not a sweater, but just a little something. And I just found the perfect yarn combo for this. I'm not just saying this, but this is seriously the best combo ever. It is so soft without it being slouchy. It is one strand of my it is one strand of my organic wool and linen base. And I will talk to you a little bit about this base at the studio today. I will show you what the yarn looks like. And I have paired this with my Suri alpaca silk, which is a lace weight yarn, just like a silk mohair, but instead of the mohair, there's a Suri alpaca, and the Suri alpaca is another race of alpaca. And it is so soft without it being fluffy and sticky, like silk mohair can be a little kind of pricky, or I don't know the right word, but it can have like a texture that makes you kind of go itching a little bit. And the Suri alpaca does not have that. So the combination of these two together in this shrug is just awesome. I'm going to be experimenting a lot with these two bases together, because they just create the most gorgeous fabric and it feels so good. And I'm thinking this is the perfect sweater combination. But I think first I will knit a hat. And I have a pattern called the Yo Adrian hat, and I'm thinking that might be quite perfect for this yarn combo, but I don't remember the gauge for that, so I will be checking up on that. And if not, I will just do another new design and use this yarn combo, because it is really amazing. Maybe it's hard to tell, but this is my dark aubergine colorway, this one. And the Suri alpaca is the same colorway. And I have paired that with one strand of my sage colorway, along with the Suri alpaca in my coquines colorway. It's only because I didn't have a minty, and it really doesn't matter. It just, as you can tell, the Suri alpaca doesn't overdo the mint, or the sage. So it still has this sagey stripe that I just thought was cute. I really have a thing for eggplant or aubergine together with like a minty sage color. I think those two colors just go so well together. Yeah, so I can't wait to finish this and wear that. I think it's just so pretty, and it's actually also such a joy to knit. I'm working on a US 9 5.5 millimeter needle, and I have it is a one size pattern, and I'm a wider person. First of all, I'm just a bigger person, but I'm also have wide shoulders, so I added stitches to the pattern, and I don't remember how many. I think maybe 12 stitches. Yeah, so this has been my main focus for actually since I finished Vlogmas. So that I felt like I had to knit on my advent blankets every day during Vlogmas, and once the Vlogmas ended, I was like, I'm free, I can do whatever I want to do. So I just felt like knitting on something else. So I've been working on this Saturday shrug. All right, let me put that back in the bag and we can talk about the next project. So my next project is in one of my corduroy bags. This is in the brick colorway that is unfortunately sold out. I might be able to get some more of those at some point. This is my Anna's Advent. So it is a pattern I came up with during Vlogmas because I just didn't know what to do with my Advent calendar this year with my Anna Anka theme. And then I came up with a pattern inspired by a corner-to-corner crochet blanket. I thought I wanted to do something familiar to that, just in knitting. And I didn't want to do anything fancy, or I didn't want to weave in too many ends, and I didn't want to sew anything together. So I did this Anna's Advent. And if you want to do a pattern just like this, go back to my Vlogmas and check out, I think, episode 5 or 6. There will be something in the show notes about how I do this. And I just start at this corner, and then I just use the mini skeins in the order that they came in, except that I messed up one time and I took the wrong mini. But apart from that, I'm just doing it in that order. And I have just now gotten to the point where the width of the blanket is the width that I want. I think about approximately 120 centimeters. And then I stop doing the increases in one side so that it's just going up, and it's still going further up in the other direction. So that means I'm doing increases on every other row, and I will be doing that until it has the length that I want. And then I will be doing decreases on both sides. And the plan is to just keep going until I have finished all 24 minis, and then just continue either with the main skein that was in my Advent and just finish that one, and whenever that is done, just finish with white. That could be, I think actually that could be fun. I have no clue how many minis I have used so far. Oh, I'm on my 12th stripe, so I'm almost halfway. It has been such a joy to knit this. It's so much fun when you can change the color of the yarn all the time. I'm using a US 6, which is a 4mm needle, and this is just mindless, lovely knit that I'm really enjoying. So there's no rush with the blanket. I will knit on that every now and then, and it's perfect for the car, especially now when it's so cold outside, or either just leave that bag in my couch and knit on that whenever I need to watch something on TV. Whenever I'm watching something on TV. Last project. Is it the last project? No, it's not the last project. The next project, anyway, is in one of my hand-dyed project bags that I have dyed this. I have dyed this fabric. It is a merino fabric, and I have dyed it. And then my aunt, she does the bags for me. So it's a little collaboration we have, her and I. And I still have some hand-dyed bags in my shop. I only think I have 3 different colors left, but you can go check those out. And once they are sold out, I think I'll do more because I just think these are so unique and awesome. In here I have my Anthology throw, which is a design by Helen Stewart. And this is how it looks on the picture. It is just gorgeous. I have been wanting to knit this pattern, I think, since last Advent when I saw Mika from, I always forget what Mika's podcast is called. Skeins of Dreams podcast. She did a version with the most beautiful yarn last year, and I wanted to make one as well. And I decided that because I got an Advent from Fru Valborg, she was my favorite yarn dyer in the past. I bought all her yarn before I dyed my own, and she stopped dyeing yarn, and she did this Advent as her last thing, and I got it, and I thought, well, I'll just make an Anthology throw in Fru Valborg's yarn, and that will just be my final tribute to Petra and her and her yarn business. She's now a yoga instructor. She's still very amazing, but she doesn't dye yarn anymore. That is my progress, and this, I must say, has been such a joyful knit. It is so much fun because it changes all the time, but it doesn't change so much that you have to go and look. Well, you have to go and look in the pattern, but you don't have to memorize anything once you go around. So it's, you go to a certain round and you say, oh, that's the round that I'm doing, and you don't have to go and look at a chart or anything like that. So it's very, very easy and super fun. Super fun. I will put this back in its bag, and this will also just be a project that I'm working on whenever. And I really didn't need 2 more blankets to work on. You can see here on my chair, I have a huge basket with a scrappy blanket that I am knitting for my brother. And I think I've been working on that for, 2 or 3 years. But eventually it will be done. My last project is, maybe you recognize the yarn if I show you the yarn. This is the Christmas yarn that we did together this year. This was inspired by a picture sent to me by Andrea, and it was a very beautiful painting. And the painting was called Winter Landscape. I think I started out calling this Winter Wonderland, but I ended up calling it Winter Landscape. It was a very pretty painting. If you want to see the painting, you can go to my Instagram profile and during December, and there will be a picture of both the painting and the yarn in skeins, not in a cake. And I just really wanted to knit myself a pair of socks in this yarn because I really, really liked how this turned out. And I also just wanted to do something a little bit more structured than just a plain vanilla sock. So I'm doing my sandpiper socks that just has this little tiny bit of structured pattern. And I think that they're turning out just so cute. In the pattern, it says 60 stitches. I have cast it on 66 stitches because usually I will knit 64 stitches, and I'm working on a 2.25 millimeter needle. So that is why. So that's just to let you know, if you're a tight knitter or if you are knitting on a very tight needle and you usually go for the 64 stitches. If you want to do the pattern here, it calls for 66. In the pattern, it only says 60, but it has to be dividable by 6. So you can either do the 60 stitches or the 66 stitches, and then you just adjust when it comes to the toe. It's fine. But yeah, I think this is so cute. I love how these teeny tiny speckles are here. Every now and then you get a little bit of red or a little bit of yellow. So I'm really enjoying that. That is whatever I have on my needles. So finished objects, really not that much, because when you cast on too many blankets, you just don't get anything done. I did finish one thing because Esther, my youngest, she really wanted Alvina mittens, and these are her Alvina mittens. I did this in my Alpaca Deluxe base, which is a baby alpaca cashmere silk blend. It is insane. It is so soft. And this is in the elephant colorway along with an undyed, and I have those as kits available on the website now. So if you get yourself a kit, there will be enough yarn to do both mittens and a hat. And don't forget to buy the pattern as well, because the kit doesn't come with a pattern. And some people have asked me, why is that not included? Well, it's just to make it more fair to everyone, actually, because if you have already gotten this pattern, it's an old pattern or an older pattern. And if you already have the pattern, I don't want you to pay for the pattern again just because you want the yarn that goes with in the kit. So you can buy as many kits as you want, but you can just buy one pattern. So that way you save money. And I don't want you to pay for something twice. I've had some people getting a little bit upset that the pattern is not in the kit, but that will just make the kit it's more expensive. So you don't save any money by me putting in the pattern, because then I had to raise the price on that. So that is the explanation why my patterns are not a part of the kits. There are exceptions, because every now and then I'll go on as a vendor on big events, and then it's just easier that the pattern is right there, so you can buy them. But that's because when I go out as a vendor, people will speak Danish, and then the pattern will be in Danish. So that is, and I only have the Danish pattern in print, and I don't have the English in print. So that's another part of the explanation. What else? Yes, 2024 is going to be a mushroom year. And that might sound strange to some of you, but 2023 was a bird year. So every month of last year, I would dye a sock set inspired by a bird, a Danish bird. It had to be a bird located in Denmark, just to keep my options limited. As a dyer, it is so much more fun to have like a limited task, in the way that you get more creative when you can only do this shade of brown, and it forces me to improve my skills in making these certain types of colors. If I just could choose any color or any bird in the world, I could make very bright colors, and it's easier to dye very bright colors than it is to kind of do these more moody. For me, at least, I think it takes a little bit more skill to kind of pinpoint those colors that are just a little bit, like doing a bright red is very easy, but doing the perfect red for a certain bird, just nailing that exact color, that is a challenge. And that's a challenge that I like very much. I love to improve my craft. Being a hand dyer does not require an education. I would love that I could have gone to some school and they would teach me all this stuff, like an art school. But I have to, and that goes for all hand dyers, it's like you have to teach yourself. So that's a brilliant way for me to get better and improve my work, and I love to do that. So that is one reason why I try to limit my options when I do like yarn clubs. And this year I picked out mushrooms, and I have had a lot of friends and family say, but mushrooms, are they not only just white and brown? Can you really do 12 interesting mushrooms? And absolutely you can. So I have picked the first mushroom, which will be I think it's called bleeding bonnet in English. I will look it up again, and it's hard with these mushrooms because they have so many different names, Danish names, English name, Latin names. Of course, that was the same with the birds, but with the mushrooms, there's no, who has like a normal mushroom vocabulary? Like compared to birds, it's a little bit more, I think, I don't want to say geeky or nerdy, but it's a little bit more difficult in a way. But the first, in Danish, it's called huesvamp, which means hat mushroom. And I have showed a picture on Instagram the other day, and I have a plan. So for every mushroom that I introduce every month, I will do a little watercolor of that mushroom. And then by the end of the year, I will have those printed into stickers. So if you buy the last mushroom, you can buy a sheet of stickers with every 12 mushroom. I think that's such a fun idea. And also mushrooms for me has been, I don't know, I have always just been so inspired by mushrooms. Or they are so intriguing. Is that the word? They have this, it's almost like they are a little, like a fairy tale character. They're a little mysterious, and sometimes they're poisonous, and sometimes they just taste really good. And I have some mushrooms hanging right here in my window. I'll add a picture of those in here somehow. And those of you who follow my vlog must see that I every year I buy this mushroom bauble, which is a glass blown mushroom. At this artist in Copenhagen does these mushrooms, and I get one every year. So I have a thing for mushrooms. And when I was a kid, my dad would take the whole family and some of our friends like mushroom hunting in the woods in the fall, and we would have a little book, and they would find a mushroom and then look up the mushroom and see, can we eat this one or is it poisonous? So mushrooms has just always been something that I've been so fascinated by, and I like to paint them, like watercolor them. I've been doing that for a couple of years. That is just the best way for me to really relax when I'm not knitting, just to sit in here in my office and do a little watercoloring. And I'm not a big artist at all, but I just think that it's so calming and lovely to be sitting here and dyeing all these cute little mushrooms. I can show you the first painting that I did. Okay, I just double checked that in English it's called the bleeding bonnet, or it could be called smaller bleeding mycena or mycena. I don't know how to pronounce that. I did a little watercolor of it here, and just I'm not saying that I'm really good at this. I'm just saying that it's fun. But I'm thinking, wait, if I edit this a little bit on the computer, it can be a pretty cute sticker. So I think I'll just do that every month, and we will see how that turns out. So I think that's all the chat I have from my office. So I think I'll just go and get ready and take you with me to the studio and have a little yarn talk, because I have gotten a new base, and that base will replace my Camijo sock base. Don't be scared. It'll be good. It'll all be fine. It'll work out in the end, I promise. But I'll just put on some other clothes. Maybe I should just always remember to tell you what I'm wearing. This is my Giselle shawl. I have showed this many times. It is, I have kits available online. It is knit in one strand of my Misty base, which is only available as kits, and 2 skeins of that and 3 skeins of my silk mohair. And this is the dark one is called Spicy Caramel, I think, and this and this silk mohair is called Scallop Shell. No, yes, maybe. Or maybe this is the vanilla. No, I think it's the Scallop Shell. It's my favorite color. I think I have in my color collection. I think the Scallop Shell is definitely one of my favorites. Let's go to the studio, and I think I'll just show you some of the weather because it's so pretty. We had a huge snowstorm this Wednesday. It was awful. It was gorgeous when you're inside, but awful if you're not. We had people staying in the highway overnight, like 24 hours in their car. Luckily, no one died. Nothing like seriously bad happened, but it was very, very, very bad. Yeah, so I will take you to the studio and also update you on why Naomi's actually home and what happened, if you're interested. And I will talk a little bit about the Tanzania yarn, because now she can't go back to her school and deliver the money, but we have a plan for that. So stay tuned, I'll see you at the studio. Welcome to the studio. So I drove down here, I washed some of the first mushrooms that I did. I'm sorry about the glare, but this is the way I can get the best light, so I can actually show you the yarn that I have here. So I can tell that they're going into my glasses, but that's just the way it has to be for now, and I apologize for that. So let's talk a little bit about yarn. Those of you who have been following my channel for a while know that I have had a lot of doubts and worries and thoughts about changing one of my most what is the word? I think this is one of the first yarns that I got when I started to dye yarn, and I have had this base since the beginning. It is a super classic 80% merino, 20% nylon. It is a 425 meters. So it's a classic fingering weight, 4-ply, perfect sock yarn. I'm sorry about the glasses, that is so annoying. This yarn, I love the quality of the yarn. There's nothing bad to say about the yarn itself. The only way I really want to replace this yarn is because the circumference of the skein is small, and the smaller the circumference of the skein is, the more yarn you have in one place, and that makes it more difficult and time consuming for me to dye. because there are so many layers. And I can show you this. When I take out this yarn, you can see this is the circumference. So there's a lot of strands compared to if you have a larger circumference, you have fewer strands of yarn. So I really wasn't sad about the base, but I was really sick and tired of dyeing this yarn. I know I have talked to other dyers and they don't mind it, but I mind it. I don't like to dye this base or this yarn. So I have changed it. This is the new base, and let me just show you the difference, because when I unfold this and I compare these two to each other, you can see the circumference of this undyed one is way bigger, which means I do not have the same amount of strands of yarn in the same place, and I can make a better dyeing job. I did do whatever I could to make sure that I would spread the dyes evenly. So I would have to just twist and turn and inside out and twist and turns many times compared to when you have this. So this saves me time, and I can do a better job. So I wanted to change it. So I have changed it into this base, and this is gorgeous yarn. I have improved the quality of the yarn. I have added some yak into this base, so it is a 65% superwash merino, 15% yak, and 20% nylon. So it is, and it's still 425 meters. So if you have some of my own Camijo sock yarn, you can totally mix these two. It is no problem. You will not be able to tell the difference because the yardage is exactly the same, and they feel pretty much the same. Of course, this is a little bit more luxurious because you have the yak, and I think in another episode I will talk a little bit about the yak. What is a yak? What does it do why is it better than the merino, or why is it not better than the merino, and what is the difference? I will just say that I'm not the biggest wool nerd. I am not in this business because I just have this huge interest in different types of wools and what does this wool do. Of course, I will always research before I make a choice, but my main interest and concern is not so much if it's 10% or 20% or 15%. I just really, the first time I looked at this base when I was in Cologne last year on a huge yarn festival, I saw this base for the first time, and I talked to the people who make this yarn, and I was really intrigued by it. So I'm happy to announce that this will be the new Camijo sock base, and I will slowly be adding this into the shop. Of course, I cannot in one day dye all the 100 and something colors that I have. I will start with the CamijoKnit core colors, which is something I've been working on. I really like to have like 15 or 20 colors, even maybe more, that is like the CamijoKnit core colors. So the colors that you can always expect to find in all my bases, or at least all my like main bases like this one. So I will start to dye on this base next week, and I'm very, very excited about that. And eventually the old Camijo sock base will just slowly go out. I do not have any more undyed yarn, so the Camijo sock yarn that is available is the last that I have. But don't, you can totally mix and match the two. So I will be calling this in the future Camijo sock yak, so you know that's the new one, and it has yak in it. So that is the one base that I wanted to talk to you about, and it is also the base that I have dyed the first mushrooms in, just to kind of feel how it was to work with. And another base that I want to talk to is my organic wool linen base. I have it here in the dyed version. This is a sage color that I showed you earlier today. It is a 70% organic wool and 30% linen. The linen is not organic, but the wool is organic. And I dye it. And I have really been wanting a DK base that was just perfect sweater yarn. Because if you do work a sweater in the typical DK weight superwash merino, it will just kind of get a little slouchy and a little saggy, and we don't want that. So this is, if you want to do color work sweaters, this is the perfect yarn because it just has this, it kind of has its own hold, so it doesn't, yeah, doesn't fall out of shape. And I showed you this Saturday shrug that I have been working on in this organic linen, and I held that with a strand of my Suri alpaca that I have in all these colors, and I will be adding more colors along the way. I did use the dark aubergine that you can see right here, and I used the coquinas that is hiding somewhere. It's right there. But I also have the scallop shell that is one of my favorite colors, some dusty blue and some sand viper. You can go to the website and check those colors out and mix and match those if you want to do the Saturday shrug as well, or anything else on a US 9 5.5 millimeters around that needle. So that was the other race I wanted to talk about, and the last one is, I showed you the Alvina mittens that I had at home. That was Esther's mittens. I have a pair here as well in the blue and white. And the yarn that I have used for both the blue ones and also the ones that I showed you from the house was this elephant and white. And you can see the yarn combination right here is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So this is it's a very luxury yarn, and it is so soft and very, very nice. And perfect for mittens and hats and shawls and scarves. Esther actually during Christmas, she knit herself a Sophie scarf in this, and even though it says in the pattern use fingering weight yarn, she just used this and it was perfect. It looks so cute. And she used, I think, less than a half a skein, or maybe like half a skein. I haven't weighed it yet, but I can do that and let you know. I think that was it. And of course, for the new Camijo sock yak base, I have also ordered a bunch of minis, so you can have matching sock sets if you want to have that. Of course, it's gonna take a while until I have all the minis dyed in different colors. I will slowly, as the normal sock minis that I have, once they sell out, I'll just replace with the new one. That'll take a while. I have a bunch of undyed mini sock still available. So I guess that's it. Oh, there's one thing that I really want you to please help me out with, if you have any interest, of course. If you are a part of the Bird Sock Club from last year, I right now on Instagram have a vote, so you can vote on which bird you would like for me to dye again. And I'm thinking I'll just dye the main base and not the minis, because dyeing all those minis is just a nightmare. Yeah, vote on your vote on your favorite bird. And I'm thinking about doing like a top 3 and then dye some of those, and maybe have the top 1 be a normal regular color in the shop for a while, or we will see if I do some minis. I haven't really thought that through yet. I am a person that gets more ideas that I have time to come to life. I'm really bad at just getting ideas all the time. So I need to structure those sometimes a little bit and not get ahead of myself. Last thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Tanzania yarn. During Christmas, Nomi and some of her friends sent me a picture of some local women in Tanzania. They were just walking in this in nature, and the soil in Tanzania is so warm and red, and they were walking with some trees in the background, and they were just in amazing clothes, and the graphic designs on some of the fabric they were wearing was just really bright and beautiful. And I made a deal with those kids. I told them, if you can take a good picture, and one of the guys that are traveling with Nomi, he's actually a photographer, so he is, of course, extremely talented, or maybe not of course, but he really is. Him and Nomi picked out this picture for me as an inspiration to do the, I think it's called Machewo, which means sunset in Swahili, which is with the language they speak in Tanzania. And this is the yarn that I did. I have showed you this before. I have dyed some more, and I said that a total of 16 skeins. Once I've sold 16 skeins, I will donate 1,600 kroner to the school that Nomi used to teach. Unfortunately, Nomi got injured in Africa. She jumped off a motorcycle and she injured her knees. Not her knees, her knee, one knee. And she has been jumping around in Zanzibar on one leg and crutches and in and out of hospital. And she was back home in Denmark this Wednesday. So she is home. She's in a good mood. So don't feel, of course, feel sorry for her because it really sucks to be going home a month ahead of time. And there were so many gorgeous experiences for her to still experience. But she's okay. She's fine. But the problem is she was going to go back to the school next week or this week. That was the intention, and donate all this money to the school. Of course, she can't do that because she's not there anymore. But her friends are still there. So I will be sending them the money, and they have promised me to do some footage of them going back to the school and donating all this money to the principal, and he will buy some books and whatever they need in the school. So once I get some footage and once I get some feedback from Trine and Lou, who is the two girls that are going to be in charge of this donation, I will share that with you in an upcoming episode. But I just wanted to tell you that I have some of these still in the shop. So the first 16 skeins are pretty much almost sold. I think one is left, but I will be donating those money. The rest of the skeins, I will still have this colorway in the shop because I think it's so fun, but they will not be donated. They'll just go to me because I can't work for free forever. But I like the color, so we just keep the color and donate all the money that we have gotten so far. I did dye this material. I can't pronounce it. I forgot the real name. I did them on the merino sock, so they will be available. And I also did some on the BFL. And the BFL base will be discontinued. So whatever I have left of the BFL base is the last BFL I'm going to have. I have to let some of my yarn go. I have too much fingering weight yarn and I cannot keep up with dyeing all these bases. So this is not staying in the shop. I know some of you really like it, but you don't buy too much of it. So money talks, as you know. So if this was really a favorite, I would have kept it. But some of you love it, but just not enough of you. So that is a little sad. But by the time you watch this, I will have this colorway in the BFL base available and also in this merino sock base. And we will donate the money for the first 16 skeins. Just to make clear that not all the profit from all the yarn is going to Africa. The first 16 skeins, I donate the money. I think that's it for now. So thank you so much for joining me for a longer episode. It has been so good to be back and chatting with you. I have, after Vlogmas ended, it was just, I felt like I had to record everything and film everything, and I need to. And it was peace and quiet, and it was actually pretty nice to just not stress out about making content all the time. But at the same time, I just love the interaction with you, and I'm just so excited every year when I do Vlogmas. And I think this year was even better. I already now know what will be the theme of the next year's advent calendar, but of course I'm not going to share that with you yet. But I will be starting to dye yarn, I think, pretty soon, so I don't get overwhelmed by August and September as I did this year or last year. That was nuts. So I will be better at planning. That is my New Year's resolution. Plan better, have more time. And then I thought about, I've seen other people pick out like a word for the next year, like what is going to be my main focus, and I will think about that for a little bit. If any of you has picked out the word that'll kind of be your main word for this year, I'm so curious to hear what you picked and why. And I think that's it. It's Saturday. I need to go home and enjoy my weekend. That is another New Year's resolution that I'm actually, since I moved my whole dye studio down here, I do not have to work when I am home. So weekends are off. But I broke that rule already because I went down here to both podcasts and washed some yarn. But that's fine. I took Wednesday off because of the snowstorm. That was insane. That was really insane. But yes, I'm checking out. Everything is good here. I have both my girls under the same roof, and I cannot tell you how much peace that brings me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another episode 2 weeks from now, or maybe a little less than 2 weeks. I will try to maintain uploading an episode every other Friday. Until then, take care. Remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and even go to my Instagram and follow me there if you don't already do so. And I will have the pre-orders for these mushroom babies out very soon, hopefully Sunday or Monday. Until then, take care. Bye.